Hi, this is Dr. Richard Ruling, here to welcome you on the Total Health Channel. It's been a little while, been busy, but thank you for staying with us from time to time. Important topic today, I think, again, and I would title it, If I Were a Pastor. It's about reopening the church. I think there are 5 reasons I want to share with them briefly with you. The first is there was a doctor, PhD, I guess, who said that the psychological trauma is huge for being locked down. The idea is that people get depressed, they're not working, they're at home, this is not their usual environment, men usually go to work, conflict in the home, women get battered, men get depressed, bad situation. Okay, it's the psychological price we're paying for not working. Like in the Bible, 6 days you should work. Rest one, but not rest all the time. You get tired of that. Okay, and so that's number 1 is the psychological trauma, the mental trauma. Number 2 is the sociological, the society. We were meant for fellowship. We were meant for sharing. I think God understood that when in the Bible times they had new moons. Okay, that was if you recall in 1 Samuel when David told Jonathan, tomorrow is the new moon, and I'll be missed if I'm not there. It was a social time, a time where the family, everybody could come for a meal and maybe talk or share. So I think God was meeting social problems, social needs at that point. Because think of 3 circles, a physical circle, a mental circle, and then a third spiritual circle. They overlap in the social dimension. And I think the social overall is the best test of whether we got the other things all together. If we're spiritually intact, we want to reach out to people. If we are physically well, we enjoy getting together with people. If we're psychologically, mentally up to it, we want to engage, find out what other people are into, and so on. So it's a good situation, and the social is the test of it. So physical, mental, physical, there is no need to lock down, okay? Total stupidity at this point, because even the CDC now admits that there is 0.26% fatality. That was 13 times less than they were hyping months ago, and they hyped it bigger than that originally. Oh, lots of people are going to die, millions are going to die. Well, no, not millions, okay? We should take a lesson from Italy. They said that 99%, this was in Bloomberg News, you could do a Google search, Bloomberg News, Italy says 99% of the fatalities were people who were older and had pre-existing conditions, heart disease, lung disease, diabetes. Why? I personally think it's because they're taking drugs for these other diseases. It's a bad match for drugs and the virus at the same time. Somehow this virus doesn't like other drugs. I know this personally from experience as a physician. When I would see people in the office, they would come and say, well, I've been taking this cold medicine and it's been a week, why aren't I well? Well, the cold medicine has aspirin or Tylenol to lower fever. You feel better with aspirin or Tylenol, but the problem is lower fever means the virus survives better. Fever is a body's mechanism to kill the bug. And so why should I take something just to feel better when the real cause is not being addressed? Get a fever. When I was working emergency room, I noticed I was getting sick with scratchy throat, runny nose, headache, felt cold. Took a 20-minute bath, filled the tub with real hot water, hot as I could stand, and in 20 minutes I had 102.5. And I poured cold water front and back several times. It will double the white blood count. They did this at Battle Creek, stimulant, and I didn't have any medicine, no vitamin C even, but I didn't eat any supper. Supper and food, and especially sweet things, that's when we get the flu after the Christmas holidays, when people have been overindulging the cakes, cookies, goodies, and candies. So avoid that stuff, okay? Take vitamin C and be well. And if we would, I know that the mainline stream stuff says, oh, unproven. Well, what they're doing is unproven, and it's proving to be bad. So why go that direction? No drug has been effective against vaccines. Drugs are, by definition, a poison, according to Drill's textbook of pharmacology. Every drug is by definition a poison. That's what it says. In Chapter 5, Mechanisms of Drug Action, in the book Drill's Textbook of Pharmacology and Medicine. This was given to me, that statement, by Dr. Harding, who had been dean. Before he was dean of the School of Health, he was chairman of the Department of Pharmacology. He had a PhD in pharmacology, and he shared that statement with me when he heard I was doing health programs. I'd like to suggest a health program for your church. It's based on Ministry of Healing, a book that has the wisdom of the great physician in it, and it's not about new prescription. Recently I saw an interesting statement by Oliver Wendell Holmes, a physician, and he said young physicians have 20 drugs for every disease, but older physicians with more experience have one drug for 20 diseases. And I would say vitamin C might be it, especially for the flu, because Linus Pauling did his research, and the body need for vitamin C increases under stress and in systemic diseases, burns, surgery, things like that. Take more vitamin C, and maybe we're not getting enough fresh fruit, etc. So thank you for considering this. So in the 5 reasons, we have the physical, the mental, the spiritual. God says work 6 days, rest the 7th. Are we cowing in to government leaders and even leaders of churches? We can talk about conference or general conference. Every pastor should be serving God, number 1, serving Christ. It's not what his leaders tell him. If I was independent, I would open my church and do what I could to help people, have them come. They don't have to sit on top of each other and hug each other and kiss each other. But social distancing is okay. But let's fellowship and let's do what God says. Basically, that's my opinion. And sad that we can't do that. We really can make the choices. And I think these are little tests as we approach a bigger test. So let's see what we can share. Please share this with others. Sharing is part of sharing the light. Christ says you're the light of the world. Well, not if we don't speak up. So thank you for sharing this, and God bless you. And we'll talk again. I promise next week one also. I'll leave that till then. Take care.